not even 20 pages in, and this man, for real, gives her a bone carving of his thing-a-ling. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Hello, hi, what's up? It's Nalastasiaa and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, hey, what's up? I'm Nala. I'm a stay-at-home mom to 3 who is rekindling her love for her hobbies, and reading happens to be one of them. Today's video is going to be a vlog. I don't really have an overall theme for this week's vlog, but I've been in a really good reading mood, and I got, I think, three to four books this week that I finished, which is very good for me. Kind of like a week in the life, a mom of 3 reading. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy it. And let's get into the vlog. I'm in such a good reading mood, and I don't know what it is. I finished A Court of Silver Flames last week, so I moved on to The Last Daughter, which is like a enemies to lovers Viking book. And I'm gonna be real with you, again, I didn't see enough. I finished it. I thought it was gonna be so good because it is a Viking inspired Norse god story, and I had really high hopes for it, but it ultimately just fell really flat for me. I did pick up The Bridge Kingdom. This is one of my friends on Bookstagram's like their holy grail book of all time, and so I picked it up, had to read it, and I really loved it. But it had everything that I need in it from a fantasy. I really appreciate that the fantasy and the political aspects itself were more forefront, and the actual romance itself was kind of in the background a little bit. And it is enemies to lovers, but it is not in a very smutty way, in like small doses, you know what I mean? I like the burn, I like the angst, I like to yearn for it, and that's ultimately what made me enjoy this so much, as well as the political system. Of course, the Spitfire female main characters always get me. There's a special place in my heart for those types of FMCs. I actually just finished that today. As much as I would like to go on to The Traitor Queen from The Bridge Kingdom, my heart is telling me to take just a moment, take a step back maybe, and move on to something else from my library TBR pile, because I do want to get to those. So as for my library TBR pile, let me show you what I have. I have Daughter of the Siren Queen, which I read Daughter of the Pirate King a few months ago. So that's just something I want to knock off. It's really on my forefront, but I am doing the Once Upon a Readathon, so it's got our allies in it, and also our mascots in it, the pirates. So I got that so that I could check that off the list. And then I have The World Gives Way, which is a sci-fi fiction. I don't remember a lot of what it's about. I just remember it's set in the future where people are on this ship in space, and like the Earth isn't habitable or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was like 5 stars on multiple people's videos. I have The House in the Cerulean Sea, but then I also have my first Grady Hendrix book, which is How to Sell a Haunted House. I hear so many good things about Grady Hendrix. And then I have Happy Place, which I've just been seeing everywhere, and I was honestly amazed that my library had it, to be honest, because they don't tend to have like a lot of super new releases. And then I have The Adventures of Robin Hood, which I would love to read this more so as like research purposes for a work in progress, and so I thought that that would be a really fun read. However, I'm gonna stick with Unmasking Autism for right now, just to kind of like palate cleanse a little bit. We'll see. That's what I'm gonna be reading. So my public library is so cool because every couple of weeks they have some new recipe kits. So they've got this one. It is Summer Squash Recipe Kit, and inside they've got the recipe instructions, and then they give you the seasonings and like a few other things that you'll need. So this is like some breading and seasoning already pre-mixed, some parchment paper, and cheesecloth, which I actually didn't have and I needed. But they make these little kits that adults can take home. They have kits for teenagers and then also for kids. over in the kids section, and I think it's so fun to get things like this from over there. I also finished their reading program for the summer. I finished way early. It's supposed to be, you know, if you read for 20 hours, then they give you a free tote bag, like a little canvas tote. And so I got one of those today. I think it's cool. Stop pulling on these curtains, sir. You're gonna make them fall. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and read Happy Place because one of my friends over on Instagram were like, hey, I actually have Happy Place if you're down for a buddy read. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna buddy read that. I started a little bit early. We're supposed to start tomorrow, but I'm starting tonight just because I know that I'm a super slow reader. And she is so fast at reading. So in order to keep up with her, I had to start a little bit early. But I also picked up a few holds from the library, and I just wanted to show you some of those that I got. So the first one is Abby Jimenez, yours truly. I've been seeing this everywhere. Emily Henry's beach read, and I've never read anything by Emily Henry. Happy Place is actually the first book. This book has been so loved. You can see I kind of like that. And then I also picked up Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. We'll see how this mass market paperback situation goes. I typically don't read mass market paperbacks just because, like, it's really hard to hold and read. The size isn't what's hard, it's the fact that it doesn't sit open, and also the text is so small. But this is the last one. It's Stephen King on writing, because I would like to start writing again, and I figured that would help me kind of get into the process and develop my skill a little bit more. And so I thought that would be a fun read. I've seen a few people, Haley Pham mentioned it. I've seen some people on TikTok talk about it. So I think that it'll be a good read. But yeah, so I'm about 5 chapters in on Happy Place, and then I'll read a little bit more tonight. And I also have to go back and do some dishes. That is the plan for tonight, and I will check in probably tomorrow. Good night. Good afternoon. It is the next day, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I've just finished lunch. I have a super late start to the morning. This morning I was feeling super sluggish, didn't want to do anything, so I decided to do my makeup and a little bit of my hair. It doesn't look like I did anything, but I did. And I've got Happy Place. So I only got about 1 more chapter in, which was roughly about 5 or 6 pages. Because they are pretty short chapters, because it goes back and forth between present time and then past time. Don't have really any thoughts on it yet. Today is the first day of the buddy read, and so I need to get my butt in gear. But also I have Bridge Kingdom sitting here with me because I would like to take a photo for Bookstagram and kind of take you guys along on the process a little bit, because so I'm just going to show you guys my kind of setup. I am trying to procure a new kind of vibe on my Bookstagram. I want it to look a little bit more clean, less cluttered, and very cohesive. I think it's going well so far. Don't mind my office, it's a little bit messy. I got toys scattered everywhere from Enzo playing. Gotta just be completely real and authentic here with you guys. So whenever I am taking content pictures, I really like to rely on natural light, just because it looks prettier. And my house, you can tell in my videos, has crap lighting. I literally have on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on in here right now, and it's still pretty dark. And I'm in front of this massive, not massive window, but in front of a window, and it still doesn't help much. So my house just doesn't get a lot of bright natural light. So this is my window over here that I like to take most of my pictures in front of. This little short fold out table, and it's real short. I have this tablecloth that I will drape over the table to give it a nice clean background. I have lots of little decorative pieces all around my room that I like to use as home decor, as well as like props for pictures and stuff. So now it's just trying to find something that fits the aesthetic of Bridge Kingdom, or whatever book I'm taking a picture of. This one's a little bit hard Aaron does not believe in having a crown, even though he is king and she is queen. They don't wear crowns, so a crown just wouldn't make sense. But we'll figure this out together. Teamwork makes the dream work, am I right? Down here is just my little clean slate. We're gonna go ahead and lay down the book. And you know what? Some people would just leave it as that. And sometimes, if I'm feeling extra lazy, I'll just go into my room and I have a big white comforter on my bed and I'll open up my blinds, just slap the book down and make it look a little cozy and take a picture that way, because people love clean white aesthetic on Instagram. That's just how they are. I have this slice of wood, which I like to use. Actually, this was from my baby shower last year. And then we could set that like that, give it a little bit of a layering. And now we need some type of greenery. I love including greenery. I'll grab this plant if I can do it without knocking my rail off. I don't know if I've ever used this candle in a picture, so it could be used. A snake. Ooh, a snake would be so good, but I don't have any snakes. This is where it starts to get a little bit difficult, trying to get the little details in and making it work. This little jewelry box thing, that is so cute. This is what I've got so far. So it'll be kind of like down this way. I like this. Do we put the candle right there? It seems like it's a little bit awkward. Something to go under here. I also have this. It is a hairpin, like a put it in your hair, which might be cute because it reminds me of her gold encrusted daggers that she has. And I also don't like covering up the name, but so we could do it this way. Something like that. Maybe I've got something. Maybe. So I have either, there's this book, which is witchy, but there's not really any witches in the Bridge Kingdom. Or I have this one, which is kind of cute. Kind of cute. It's really cute. Which might work. So we're going to use it to anchor this candle, but also it'll kind of be out of the frame. I'm going to take a few test shots with my phone and just kind of see if this works. If I had a quill or parchment paper, that would work because it also fits with like the theme of the book. Let's see, can you focus? Something like this. I might need to push this plant back a little bit just to give it some more of that clean space, because I like having the negative space as well. Negative space is just as important as the rest of the picture. Yeah, somewhere around that. I'll post the real one on the screen. Good. Sometimes I'll take multiple pictures of books in a day, even if I haven't read them yet, because I'm feeling inspired. But typically I like to take pictures after I've read the books, because then I like know little cute little Easter egg and details and stuff that I can put into the photo. I'm gonna clean up my mess and get to reading. Happy place. I would just like to say that if you like the banter between like enemies to lovers being snarky and also the one bed trope, I'm at chapter 6 and we've already reached the one bed trope and I'm like, but they're snarky and I really like that. Former lovers but very snarky to each other, and they know each other's little quirks and little tips and everything, and it's just so I'm enjoying that. So page 53, she just mentioned that they have a wine cellar that has a password lock, but the door is usually left open so that they can go in there and grab something anytime. I'm curious if our two main characters are going to get locked in the wine cellar together and have to face some unsaid things. But that's the kind of vibe that I'm getting from it. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right. He took a little break from reading Happy Place, and I decided to do this little rainbow stack so I could take a cute picture for Instagram celebrating Pride Month. I'm all hot and sweaty from it. And now I have to put them all away. They're all back on my shelves, and hopefully those pictures turned out cute. I really hope it was worth it. My kids actually saw me rearranging all of my books into like a rainbow, and so they all started going and grabbing all their books and putting them in a stack of a rainbow. And so I just thought that was super duper cute. It's like crazy how seeing my actions and what I do and how much they mimic that and they try and be like that. My oldest, she likes to take a book everywhere with her where she goes now, in the grocery cart, in the car, outside, and she likes to read. And she has these big chapter books where she pretends to read because she's not quite at that level yet, and I just think it's really freaking cute. So do you remember how I just said that I thought something was going to happen in the wine cellar with the door being shut? It's happening. Enzo. Enzo. Enzo.
Dad's kick.
Communication, people, it solves everything. I don't know what to say. Did I enjoy the banter between the friends? Did it feel like I was there hanging out with them? Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's all vibes, no plot, which is fine. Second chance, which is fine. The miscommunication. If a single one of the friends, any single one of them, could talk about their feelings and their emotions, there would be nothing to this book. Protect Win at all costs. He is such a pure, genuine soul and just a golden retriever boy. But it all felt very flat. I don't think that this book really particularly deserves the hype that it gets, but it's a cozy summer beach read. Kind of gives me like coming of age vibes. You know, they're all in their very early 30s. They're switching from this chapter in their life where they were kids before. They're all kind of taking that next step in life, and it's the end of an era for them or the beginning of a new chapter, and it was cute. It was cute, and I'm glad that it's done and over with. I don't think that I'll read it again. I can tell you I will not read it again. But it's a cute little summer read. They had one conversation at the end of the book, and that one conversation literally fixed everything. So, communication, people. Love is worth fighting for, whether that's platonic love or romantic love. It's worth fighting for. That's the gist of this book. It's cute. Would I recommend it? I don't know. Good morning. Good morning. Today is a new day. It's a new morning. New books. Let's go. After reading Happy Place yesterday, I was having such a hard time trying to figure out what I was in the mood to read. So first I picked up World Gives Way, which is a sci-fi, and I read about like 3 pages and I'm like, I'm just really not feeling it, you know? I'm not feeling it, Mr. Krabs. And then so I picked up Air of Fire, and I was like, maybe Air of Fire will do it for me. I'm meaning to read it this month. I have to read it this month. I basically like, I'm holding myself at gunpoint, telling myself I have to read Air of Fire this month. Read about 2 pages of that. Not even 2 pages. I think I like read the first page and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And then I picked up a nonfic called Call of the Wild and Free or something, which is a homeschooling book. So I read probably about like 5 pages of that. I'm like, honestly, not really in the mood for a nonfic either. I went through my Kindle to look through some stuff. I added some stuff. And I've been wanting to read the Mind series. However, I want to make a whole video itself on that, so I didn't start that. I also have been wanting to read Done and Dusted, which I've been seeing around. I also got Flawless, which is the Elsie Silver cowboy romance. What else? Was there something else? Oh, Trader Queen. I was this close to starting Trader Queen, which is the second Bridge Kingdom. And then a couple of friends talked me into reading Barbarian Lover. And you know what? I'm not mad at it. We're gonna be reading the 3rd one, so this is what I'm starting. Typically for me with the Ice Planet Barbarian books, I can't just like sit down and like dish it out all in one reading. It's something that I have to pick up and I'll read maybe like a quarter of the book and then I'll put it down and go to something else. A few days later or something, I'll pick it up again. It's not something that I just sit down and read the whole thing in one sitting. So we'll see how this goes. That is what I'm going to be reading. Not even 20 pages in and this man, for real, gives her a bone carving on his thing-a-ling. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Kira, sweetie, be so for real right now. Be so for real. She's like, I heard your conversation. You think that I'm ugly. Well, did you hear the part where he said he didn't think you were ugly? She may have good listening skills, but her comprehension skills are unmatched. Spoiler, it literally is like on the 2nd page of the book. Not really that much of a spoiler. Kira's sterile, or so she believes. I'm hoping that they stick with that for the rest of the book. Not like, oh, I can magically have babies now because of the coolie. I hope that they don't do that. This will be so refreshing if, like, I get that the breeding kink is like the main topic for all of these books, but it would be such a breath of fresh air if one of the blue alien men actually were into one of these women, not just for the sake of breeding. You know what I mean? Like they actually like her for her. That'd be kind of great. Even though he doesn't resonate with her or anything like that, I would love to see, you know, a love develop between 2 characters, even though she can't procreate with them. You know what I mean? This girl. I thought briefly about burying it in the snow, but after all the time and effort Ahaka put into it, it seems wrong. Plus, I might want to study it a bit more when I'm alone. How did I know this is where this book was gonna turn? Ruby Dixon. Just... Hey man, I mean, can you blame her? Can you blame her? So there's like this part, so I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. Kira has gone in to see Malak, which is like the healer of the tribe, I guess you could say. And she's just checking over Megan because Megan, whenever they were abducted, she was pregnant, and then the bad aliens, little green alien dudes, took the baby out of her. So she was going to the healer to see, you know, if she's going to the healer to see if everything is okay with her body after her experience with the little green alien men. And Malak says that your Kui is repairing the damage. It's almost done, but it is. There's no reason why you should not be able to carry a child like any other woman. And so that leads me to believe that most likely the Kui's gonna fix her ovaries, and then she will end up being able to have a baby. And which, like, is like it gives me 2 different feelings, because one, I was really hoping to see one of the books without, you know, the blue alien men loving someone for not being able to have babies. But also it makes me really sad because she really does want children. She's like she's one of the humans that are like, yes, I would love to have children if I could. I'm hoping that it comes to it that Aihako, like, she'll tell him, hey, like, I'm sterile, I won't be able to have babies, that's why we can't be together. And then he'll say something like, oh, I don't care, da da da, I love you for you, da da. And then she ends up being able to have a baby. So maybe that's how it will pan out. Excuse me, that's my light source. Thank you. No, stop it. So I'm thinking that's probably where this is gonna lead. And I'm only like 26 pages in. Miss Girl, are you kidding me? Kira is making me so mad. She just learned some key information about the little green men. And people's lives could be in danger. Their babies could be in danger. And she ain't gonna say shit. She ain't gonna say nothing. She's just gonna keep it to herself because she doesn't want people to panic. How dumb do you have to be? How so in your head do you have to be in order to put all these other people's lives in danger? She could, like, they could prepare. And you're gonna sit here and tell me as if these big blue alien men are not gonna fight to save their women? Do you think that they'll just panic? They're hunters. That's what they do. Be so for real, Kira. You were tugging at my heart a little bit, and now I'm just so frustrated with you. I can't. She told Aihako, I feel a little bit better. At least he knows. He's so sweet. And it's refreshing to see him actually care about her as a human, as a person, and her feelings, and not just something to warm his furs, you know what I mean? She's opening up to him a little bit, and I like seeing her open up to him, both physically and emotionally. I don't know what to say. Good morning! It is the next day. I finished Barbarian Lover last night, and I have to say, this is probably my favorite couple out of the series so far. I really just, Aihako was the sweetest big blue alien you ever could see. Has like the sweet charm and wants to take care of his mate, but also teases her in like a really fun way, and I think that is so just like the perfect dynamic. So, but overall, the book was super good. I liked that they introduced more plot into the book. We'll be reading the next one, and I'm very eager to see how it goes. And then last night I started Warbreaker. I got about 50 pages in, and so far so good. I don't have a lot of comments on it yet. It's a hefty, chunky book. I've been scared to start this because it is a completely unique magic system that is different from anything that I've ever read before. So I've been listening to the graphic audio with this, and it has been so helpful trying to distinguish the POVs. I might stray away a little bit and do some housework while I listen to the graphic audio, but ultimately I'm gonna try and read it with the book as much as possible. So we're gonna see how it goes. That looks so blue. I'm blue. We're just gonna deal with it, I guess. Hi, hello. So I finished Warbreaker, and wow, just wow. I knew that I was going to like this book, but not to this extent. Because the beginning of it, I do have to admit, was a little bit slow, but man, oh man, the ending makes up for it. Is so good. It is basically about these two princesses. One has been raised since the day of her birth to be married off into this kingdom to the god king. The other one has completely ignored all of her duties. She is the youngest. She has completely ignored all of her lessons growing up. She's very wild and spontaneous and has never been prepared for marriage in her life. Her father is a king of Idris, and 20 years prior he made this treaty with Halandren, and he has to send one of his 3 daughters to marry the god king. Down the grapevine it's come down that the god king is very vicious and cruel and a very almighty, all-powerful kind of ruler. And instead of sending the daughter that he prepared for her entire life, he ends up sending the wild, spontaneous daughter because he doesn't believe that she will be as much of a tool that could be used against Idris. So then we see this perspective between the two sisters. We follow the two sisters mainly. We get about 4 different POVs, I believe. The older sister, who is actually prepared to marry the god king, goes to the city of Halandren in order to rescue her and save her. And she comes across a bunch of different characters along the way, and they help her. The sister Siri kind of unravels this mystery within the kingdom and the magic behind the god king and the breaths and everything. This magic system, it's just so incredibly unique. I've never read anything like it. It has to do with colors and the spectrum of colors and breath and reawakening things back into life using this breath, and it is just so incredible. This is going to be the year of Brandon Sanderson for me because I continuously just want to read more and more from him. I mean, once again, Brandon Sanderson just leaves me in awe. The twists and the turns that we were taken on in this journey is so incredibly fun, so wild. He is able to just continuously create these characters that are full of so much depth emotionally. And they're so colorful and they're just so fun to be in the shoes of and to interact with. And it's all encompassed around this intriguing and unique magic system that I've truly never seen anything like it before. And I think that's something that Brandon Sanderson is so good at, is creating these magic systems that is unlike anything else that you've ever seen. This book, there is magic, there is politics, there is love and heartbreak, there's comedy and betrayal and a snarky, bloodthirsty, sentient sword. It's got absolutely everything that you could want. It was just such a great time, and I am so happy that I decided to read the book while I listened to the graphic audio, because the graphic audio made it a completely immersive experience. A lot of the times, you know, there was a lot of, you know, the hallucinations that you get whenever you're reading a book. You forget where you are. You get completely immersed into this world, and the graphic audio just really took that and ran with it for me. If you have the opportunity to listen to the graphic audio with the book, please, please, please do it, because it just, with all of the sound effects and the actors all have different accents and the music to set the tone, you don't have to listen to playlists or anything. It's all in there for you. It is just, I would absolutely read this again right now. It was so much fun. I ended up reading 429 pages today alone. I have no bad things to say about it, and I'm very excited to dive into either Mistborn or The Way of Kings, something like that. I think that one of those are next. I see why Brandon Sanderson is so popular amongst fantasy readers now, and I can't believe I've never read anything by him before. I need a copy of this as a trophy. This is from the library. I need a physical copy. That's probably where I'm going to leave this vlog off, because I finished, I think, a few books on here. I don't remember where I started. So I'm gonna leave it here. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and leave me the sparkle emojis down there. It's my favorite emoji, sparkles. And let me know what your favorite read of June was. I hope that you have a beautiful day. And of course, stay excellent.